Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Jesse Jackson III, best-selling author and facilitator of the Don't Kick 'Em Out book and training series. The thing that I'm really excited about, I've just come off a 9-week, 60-plus school road trip. It's not even a road trip, it's just that every single week of this school year is loaded with schools, and we've been moving around since the second week of July, so we've been on the road consistently, nonstop. On the road today, and it's going to be that way the entire school year, but it's going to be that way probably for a long time. Why? We're getting to a place where we're really helping schools to solve those core issues, man. And what we understand is it's a process, and all we're looking for, and I know me, I'm always looking for hungry schools, man. So while my schedule is full and packed, I am always looking for a hungry company that has hungry, willing learners that want to learn and want to actually go through the process. When we're trying to work with these young people who are in these conditions and these emotional conditions, it's going to take a different approach from the adults, and that's all I'm pushing. I'm pushing professional growth. I'm pushing personal growth. I am pushing heavily personal development, which is the master key to professional development. And one area that I know we need to get better in is this classroom management. And I'm sharing with you here is what I call these 12 C's of classroom management. Classroom management is something I have never had a problem with. I have never had that problem because I think the first pillar of really understanding what classroom management is, it is self-management. It is your confidence in you. And this one thing I understand as a speaker, the audience senses when you don't have confidence in yourself, when they know you're not sold out to what you're doing. And so the audience always knew that. So one of the things I learned very early in my life was how to get an audience's attention, hold and maintain that attention. Early on in my career, I was very good at tapping into some parts of the emotions of an audience. But as I have continued to grow and get better, my content is really getting up there. And so I'm studying so hard. I'm really studying and practicing at a high level. I'm still actively involved with the student. I'm still teaching classes with the student. I mean, over the summer, I had a class of 19 guys who had been suspended over 10 times. A lot of them had all F's, so I had all the suspensions in this particular building. They had to come with me for 4 weeks, so I'm used to it. I mean, in juvenile, this is what I'm used to. I'm used to being around that tough guy. But so that's what it does is it makes you start evaluating, why is this guy the way he is? What do I need to do to be better, to be able to pull down that wall that they're going to have up every day? And the most important thing I did was make sure that I'm strong, I'm efficient, and I'm always ready. These are the 12 C's that will help you perfect the craft of classroom management. Let's get to it. Number one is caring. That means, do you really care? Now, it's two sides of caring. It's like, do you care about your student? And do you care about your craft? See, I care about the game. When I come to a school, I care about the people I'm coming to help, but I care about the game. The game is our business. The game is, can we help students to graduate and find a path in life? Because where I come from, graduating from high school gives you one step away from a prison gate. It gives you one step away from poverty. So it's so vital. See, a lot of times, a lot of schools get deep. They're getting deep with it. They ain't trying to, be all heavy in post-secondary education. I have no problem with that. What I'm saying is we got away from a core fundamental of making sure all our kids graduate. So I care about the game. I care about tax-paying American citizens, because if I'm not sending people to work, then I'm a part of this problem. In America, you got to be able to go to work, man. The purpose of the education, you got to be able to go to work, make some money, take care of yourself. We don't need any more financial liabilities in our country, and education is the vessel to do that, and the kid has to know that. So I care about the people I'm going to help, and I care about the game. And so the first thing people pick up from me, he cares about us, but he also cares about this business. And I care about this business, and school business is the most important business in the world. So do you care So it's not about caring so much about the person. So they'll understand if you care about them by the things you say and how you carry yourself. And then your classroom should be challenging. Why do we have, it's 2017 and we still got all these boring teachers out here. Boring kids. Why are you in there boring kids? Why you got all these trainers coming to your school boring? Listen, if I get a chance to talk to my colleagues and they give you an hour to do some PD, the last thing you better ever do is put on a video. I'm a professional, man. Let me tell y'all, I don't know what's happening in our game to where you got these high-paid professionals that for whatever reason will be showing videos to a staff at a little training moment. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. I'm a training snob, and I'm in the top 2% of trainers in the world. It is not becoming of an expert to go to somebody's school and be showing videos. There's no challenge to that. The training should be challenged. The people should feel pressured. Our students should feel the pressure of what we're putting on them. That means they have to think. That means they have to learn. Not just out here listen, forgive me, y'all, but I'm never backing down off that. I'm a professional and a perfectionist. I care about my craft and this business. My classroom is sacred ground. And when you come in here, you will be challenged. There's very little challenges when you're giving out handouts, you're showing videos and doing that type of stuff. Where's the challenge in that? Now, are there some relevant videos? Sure it is. Are there some relevant handouts? Yes, it is. Where's the challenge? Just saying. Number 3, culture. A classroom, when you want to manage it and it should have the culture of where the kids are from and where the kids want to go. So if I come from a culture where there's limited opportunity and access, I as a teacher have to first be aware that that's the reality of my students. And then the second smart part is I'm not going to leave them there. I understand turning around poverty and getting kids out. That means I got to give them a lens. I got to show them a new culture. I have to show them what another side of the world looks like, another neighborhood. Being able to convey culture is something that really allows for classroom innovation, which helps with classroom management. Culture. Being able to, I'm in the inner city. I can embody that. But I can also show them what it looks like not to live in the inner city, what it looks like to go to another city, another state, another part of the world. And I have to be able to translate that culture. I have to show them different cultures, help them understand that the world is bigger than what we're dealing with. And this is what I'm saying. We don't have time in classroom. You don't know how many kids I've heard in the last 3 weeks tell me their class is boring. There's just a disconnect. You can't, like I said, you don't have to be, I'm black. You don't have to be black to relate to me. Do you think that? There's people that think that. There are people who think this kid can't learn. It's nothing wrong with this kid's brain. There's something wrong with this kid's emotion. Their eyesight is dim. And you know who's the binoculars? The teacher. That's you. You got number 4. It needs to be clear. Clear instructions. You need to give me clear instructions. Everything you say needs to be clear. Don't confuse students. Don't confuse them. Be clear. Be direct all the time. Be clear. Be direct all the time. And then your classroom should always be current. Current. There's so much going on in the world that's relevant. So, I want my students to always know how to think. I want them to be able to feel emotion, but not allow emotion to dictate their thought process. So there's a lot of things that invoke emotion in the world. We see the relationship with the police. We see some relationships in government. We see things that happen in our own personal community. Those things evoke emotion. But I want to be able to always use clear thought. Who teaches that? The teacher. Being current. Bringing things that's happening in my life. Bring those things to the kids. That creates engagement, that creates innovation, that creates a situation that is easy to manage. Then you always have to be the precious C, which is called consistent, not a jelly back, not a flip-flop, not you change every week. Now we don't know your mood. Well, how is she feeling today? How is he feeling today? No, be consistent. Always be consistent. Always be consistent. Always be the constant. Always be the person that will be the same every day no matter what is going on. That is what you should want to be known for. And I'm telling you, consistency will breed a better result. Are you consistent? Most of the times with managed situations that are not very manageable, the consistency it isn't going in the right direction. Then we see 7, a classroom should be competitive. I'm most honored that when I get to be honorary part of faculties of these schools all over the country, I get so pumped up that the competition level that I raise among the students, I've got kids jockeying for position to be the best student in the school. I give a challenge. I want the best kid in each class. And that best kid is going to get a reward from me, the outsider from another state who came here to connect with you, to give you some inspiration. Do your best. Doing good is cool. It has to be competition. There must be competition. In the world, there's competition. How can you have a classroom with no competition? Life is competition. The kids have to connect. And I'm telling you, they always do. I go to some schools, I'll put up a pizza party for the best class in the room. Give me the best 8th grade class. Give me the best 7th grade class. Who's the best 6th grade class? Who's the best kindergartner in here? And everybody's in there sitting up. Competition. Guys, listen. That's what makes great. You got to learn how to compete. You got to learn how to compete. I've looked, and I go to buildings, I'm looking for the best team. So like teachers working teams right now. So I'm looking for the best team. And in schools I go to will tell you, they'll know, like, yo, he does that. Right now I got to pay out. I got one school, one of my great friends, their school, the teachers that outperformed their contract last year, they just absolutely destroyed the tests. In the 7th grade group of teachers. And they reminded me the last time I seen them, hey, you better get your money ready. That steak dinner you promised. Guess what? My money is ready. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to raise the ante this year. We are promoting competition in a healthy way. Everybody do your best. Everybody, let's work, let's compete. Let's get in here every day and get focused. Everybody might not have the same gains of the student. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is that, are we all putting that max effort? And guys, I have a way of measuring, even if you might have one honors class and you might have the lowest achieving class in there, but I can see from your points of move, I want to see movement. Everybody has to have movement. Everybody has to have some progress in production. Everybody has to have production. And that is spurred by competitiveness. Got to be able to, number 8, communicate. That means listening and talking. The teacher's typically good at what? That's right, talking. So what do we have to get more proficient at? Using some of our class time to listen to the feedback of students, to listen to the feedback, to get to know the students, to listen to the students. I like a lot of presentations in class. I like to teach kids early how to present, how to talk in front of a group. Guys, how to work on overcoming your nerves. It's things I'm working with my own children right now on, learning how to perform in front of an audience, learning how to give a talk. This is something, saying I'm nervous and no, that's not going to cut it. Get up there, get used to it. Why? It's a skill you need, and that's something that the teacher really needs to help the kid with communication. Being competent. I can't state enough. 9 times out of 10, all teachers I run into are very competent. I had one situation where I went to a school that had teachers that weren't competent. That was kind of like one of the first times I had seen incompetent teachers. That means they don't know their subject. They can't teach it, they can't convey it. If you're not competent, it'll show with the kid, and that's going to give birth to behavior problems. So being competent is something that that's really up to you. There's no one can help you with that, but you have to be competent. And then the classroom should be clean. I can remember going to one situation where there was an absolute dirty classroom, and this person just had an ongoing amount of referrals and never really tested well. And if you asked her, she really wouldn't know, but the class was very junky. It was dirty. That means the classroom has to be comfortable and clean. I mean, we can't be clutter bugs and clutter up the environment. We got to be clean, guys. Come on now. Let's work on that. Let's work on decluttering our classroom. Let's work on that. And then you got to have that precious 11, which is that compassion, being empathetic, empathy, not sympathy, empathy, compassionate. People have real life issues, but always remember this: empathizing with people gives them a way out. Sympathizing with people keeps them in. Even when you go through tough things in life, the worst thing you can ever do is stay there. Empathy gives a person a way out of a tough situation. And that's what you need from a teacher with their compassion. And number 12 is the ability to connect. The ability to connect. The ability to connect. The ability to connect. When you learn the connections that I have with my adult students, which is teachers and principals all over the nation, is so special. The relationship I have with my students in my Leadership Academy at several locations around the nation is just so magical. It's so special to have kids, see them to turn around their lives academically. Turn around their lives academically. And I think that's where I'm just really so proud. Academically, we see kids. See, what I do with my behavior turnaround always consists of reading. And one thing I know from, juvenile and from prison, one thing about changing behavior, it calls for brain development. So it's not just you talking to them. That's why I started writing books. I started writing the books to leave with the guys in the jail overnight. And so they started getting used to reading. And now they're evaluating themselves by the little books that I wrote for them and left for them. And this is what we're talking about. And so making connections with kids is being able to say, hey, listen, I've dealt with a lot in life. I've had some rough blows. Life dealt me a bad hand. Okay, my family's deceased. Life dealt me a bad hand. I wasn't a great student. Here's how I addressed it. I didn't want to be a loser. I just didn't want, it's just something about being a loser just never worked. I didn't want to be a loser. I just thought being a loser was just so not cool, and I really think it's even worse now. I never wanted to be a loser. I've always been addicted to winning. I just didn't know how to win. I didn't know how to win. And guess what? It was a teacher at a time that taught me how to work on myself. And I'm still working on myself today. Making that connection with the kids is special. And this is something that you can do. And when you do these precious 12, you're going to always have a lot less behavior problems. But these are all things that the teacher has to aim to do. And you yourself can get your classroom management under control. There's nobody can do it for you but you. You can read a lot of books and things, but it's going to take a personal change from you, the teacher. The kid actually is connecting to you or disconnecting from you. Which one is true for you? This is Dr. Jackson. If you know these are the type of things that will invigorate your team, something that they can hear to help elevate them and give them understanding on how to better be successful at this job and get production. It's about getting production. My bottom line is that my schools are growing academically and in their tests. That's the bottom line of this business. And if we're not getting production, we need to evaluate that. We shouldn't be doing it. And that's what this is about. You know you need help. Listen, by all means, we have a full calendar this year. But as always, I've asked my staff to just continue to see what we can work out with people, try to move some things around. We're trying to accommodate as many folks as we can whenever we can do it, and it's the right school, and that school has that character of that championship level. We want to be champions. We are champions. That's what I want to be a part of. So listen, if you know that's what you need, don't hesitate to call today. I hope you are finding value in these things. Please share them with your colleagues. I'm Dr. Jackson. I'll see you next time.